Hello again, War Gamers, back on a game of 40k. Again, Seige of Helios. I think we're on game 5 or 6 now, something like that. Anyway, so what happened last time is the Iron Warriors launched an attack trying to slaughter some civilians. No rhyme or reason really for it, but Imperial Augurs on the planet detected a massive seismic shift, like a large amount of high explosives was detonated. And this explosion in the desert seems to have uncovered something, and before you knew it, various chaos forces were moving towards the site of the explosion. It looks like the Iron Warriors have found something, and they would really love to recover it. So the Inquisitor from last game has gathered what forces he could, a recently arrived strike cruiser of Red Scorpions, for example, and launched an immediate counter-offensive. This is the battle. We're going to be reclaiming a possessed Chaos Knight, or rather, hopefully we will anyway. So David, yeah. Alright, okay.
And here is the Red Scorpion force. Right, let's take you through it. So, buried in the middle of this very tooled up assault squad, that guy right there, that is a Red Scorpion captain. He has artificer armour, a jump pack, melter bombs, and a power axe. He is buried in 10 assault marines. There are 2 eviscerators and 2 flamers in there. Veteran sergeant has a combat shield and a thunder hammer. Right, as for basic troops, 5-man scout squad, all with shotguns. Veteran sergeant has power sword, melter bombs. In land speeder storm with multi-melter, because why not? 6 scout bikes, again veteran sergeant, melter bombs and cluster mines. So I have to work out how to do them in a minute because it's a bit of a custom scenario. 5 Tartarus Terminators, there's a heavy flamer and a chain fist in there. Right, next troops choice, 5 scouts, veteran sergeant, melter bombs. They've just got bolters, basically they're scrubs. 5-man tactical squad, there is a veteran sergeant in there, and because the Red Scorpions, that means he's an apothecary, so they feel no pain. They have a Imperial Marine with his combi disintegrator bolter, and a guy with the missile launcher. Yee-hee. Right, okay, I think that's all the basic stuff done. Right, now into the shiny stuff. Second in command, or possibly third, thinking about it now. We have a Librarian, Mastery Level 2, Plasma Pistol, Melter Bombs. He is in a 3-man Centurion squad. They all have grav cannons and all have chest missile launchers. Sergeant has an omniscope and is a veteran who are riding in a drop pod. Yes, the sneaky shenanigans that you can't do anymore in 8th. Might as well make the most of it while it lasts. We have an Inquisitor there. Same one as last time, so he's got all the frills of fancies: Imperium Brain Mine, Psybolts, Terminator Armour with Demon Hammer, and obviously the Strongbolt Strength 5 because of the Psybolts. He's Telepath, he has Psychic Shriek and Dominate. Oh, and the Librarian Psychic powers, he has Prescience, Foreboding and Forewarning. So I've rolled on Divination. And yeah, and then backing him up, we have the final 3 Centurions, all heavy bolters. The only difference is Veteran Sergeant, Chest Missile Launcher and Omniscope on that Sergeant. And that is my 1850 points. Oh, a big one, 1845. Not quite 1850, but I don't think 5 points will matter. And to be honest, I couldn't find anything worth spending that last 5 points on. So without further ado, over to David's army, and he can take you through it himself.
And for my army, mostly which have been taken from the Nurgle elements of the Iron Warriors, so as a consequence I'm using a Death Guard army list, will consist of the usual Warpsmith, with everything as normal, who will be leading a squad of 10 Chaos Space Marines, Mark of Nurgle, Icon of Fear, Icon of Despair, Flamer and Heavy Bolter. Champion has Bolt Gun, Bolt Pistol and Power Fist. There is then a second squad of Nurgle Mark Chaos Space Marines, Icon, Mark, Nurgle and 2 plasma guns. The champion has Bolt Gun, Plasma Pistol, Power Sword. They are in a Rhino with Combi Bolter, Dirge Caster, Destroyer Blades and a Havoc Launcher. They are being led by a level 2 Chaos Sorcerer, Mark of Nurgle, Bolt Pistol and Power Stave, bolt pistol, force stave, and a spell familiar, whose part in this battle will be played by the brand new Malignant Plaguecaster from 8th edition. He will be in a unit of Plague Marines. Champion has bolt pistol and a plague knife. There is a plasma gun in that unit as well. They are also in a Rhino with Combi Bolter and Havoc Launcher, Dirgecaster and Destroyer Blades. And again, nice new 8th edition models for them. My Contempted Dread he has been given the Forge World Demonic Possession, Nurgle Demonic Possession, along with the Dedication of Nurgle, which the dedication lets him go and... Well, the Demonic Possession means that anyone with a mark of Icon of Despair within a certain distance of him will be... Oh god, I can't remember what it does now.
Well, I'll tell you what, don't worry, we'll look it up as and when we need it, mate. Just continue onwards.
He also has the 2 twin-linked heavy bolters with Malefic ammo and a Havoc missile launcher again.
Right, okay, he's primed for dying.
Those are all starting on the table. What isn't starting on the table is 3 Mark of Nurgle Obliterators, 3 Mark of Nurgle Bikes. Champion has Combi Melter and Lightning Claw. The 2 other dudes have each got a melter gun. And finally, a Nurgle Blight drone with a Ploxib drone by the new Bloat drone.
Yes, because there's no rules for it 7th. And we're still, obviously we've started to get hold of the rules for 8th and such like, and we're considering changing over to it, but we started this campaign in 7th. There's some formations we've never got to use, etc. We just want to get some usage out of our books before they consign to the trash bin, basically. Can't really blame us for that, but we will do a couple of games of 8th, I'm sure, and see how it pans out. But for the moment, at least, because there are certain missions and things we want to do, there aren't really ways to do that in 8th. It's been simplified a little bit, well, actually a lot. So some of the more expanded advanced rules, like fighting in different battle zones, toxic atmospheres, etc., don't exist, which seems like a bit of a shame, really, because not all worlds are the same, and if you have to fight in hard vacuum, well, obviously that changes things up a little bit as well, right? But anyway, enough of my ranting, but suffice to say, we're going to continue what we're doing in 7th for the moment. As we get more confident doing 8th edition games, we'll see if we can't factor a few in, but for the minute at least, we'll continue in 7th. Anyway, enough ranting for me. David, please continue, or are you done?
Done.
Oh, okay, well, in that case then I'll shut up then, shall I? And we'll explain what's going to happen. Right, do you want to give us a quick zoom in on the night? Trying to explain what's going on. Right.
Want to get his good side?
Yeah, get the good side, yeah. Right, so this Nurgle Knight is obviously, he's been asleep for a very long time. And the Warpsmith and Chaos Sorcerer are obviously trying to awaken it, possess it with a demon, that kind of thing. So obviously they're going to basically, I mean, it's revenge for defend the shrine, really. You're going to start within 12 inches of him with your chosen units. So you have to deploy half in reserve. The other half will come on from your table edge randomly. It will be minimum 5 turns with variable, and there'll be First Blood, Slay the Warlord, Lion Breaker, and obviously whoever holds that at the end of the game within 3 inches. More units within 3 inches, I think sounds about right.
Wasn't it? How was it?
Or more models. Or it's troops. It has to be troops.
Yes, objective secured.
Yeah, it has to be something objective secured. Or failing that, we're just piling because it's obviously important. Well, for the narrative, we'll see how it goes. But for the minute, at least, that's how it's going to work out. So David will deploy his army, or half of it at least. Then I deploy mine, and we'll get on with the first turn of the game. And we'll seizing the initiative because I naturally, as the attacker, go first, unless David seizes. So we will come back when we're all done with that. And here we are at the end of deployment. Okay, just quickly run through it. Got my scout bikes this side. So to start with them on the table, since I'm going for the centre, there's not really an awful lot of point now from the outflank because it would just be the short edges. Tactical squad down there behind that outcropping. Really give fire support. Inquisitor with the heavy bolt of Centurions there. 10 man assault squad with all the goodies led by the captain there.
Where else am I at looking? Oh yeah, over there. Oh, there you go. There are the Bolter Scouts. I like to call them cheap mooks. Let's see. Other than that, oh yeah, my land speeder storm filled with the other scout squad is over here, behind that outcropping, and depending whether or not I keep my first turn or not, determines where and when my devs and whatnot will come down. So David, would you like to try and seize the initiative, sir?
Nope.
No, you don't. You rolled a 2. Right, so onwards to my first turn back in my movement phase. And got a bit carried away there, just ran on with my turn, but I've stopped before the closest assaults, so... Right, not a huge amount of movement. These guys moved forward, rinsed the heavy bolters into that. The scouts contributed fire, the land speeder storm, the shotgun guns in from the guys inside. Multi-melter, actually, with a complete accident. No, was it a multi-melter? Yeah, it was the multi-melter, wasn't it, that took that out?
No, it was the orbital bombardment.
Oh no, that was right. Sorry. Inside this, there was an orbital relay. So when my guys moved close enough, we triggered it. And we dropped it, and it landed exactly where I wanted it to. And boom! Took out that rhino. Spilled the dudes inside out. Missile launcher from over there actually dropped from the sergeant with his omniscope. After they ruined that dreadnought, dropped a frag pie in there and actually killed a dude. Lots of guys have been rinsed off, like I said, from combined fire from different units. These guys moved up, contributed some pistol fire in there, didn't really do an awful lot, but they're ready for their charge. Yeah, so can I do enough damage to the plague monkeys? Oh, I should probably mention as well, in this one, there's a field generator, so it's giving theirs for 4-ups, invulnerable save. And also this one over here actually had deadly Xeno creature, but after it escaped, it turned out it wasn't actually that deadly at all. So we're going to, yeah, the only psychic power that was successful, because David denied one, was these guys have forewarning on them. So they've got a 4-up save. So, right, onwards with my assault phase. Sorry about the screw up, but continuing onwards in the best tradition. Catch you at the end of that. And here we are back at the end of Red Scorpion assault phase. And obviously the only assault I went and did rather well, actually. The captain cut down the aspiring champion in a challenge. By the time the swinging was done, there's like, what, three Nurgle Marines there, and I don't think I've lost a single Marine. Oh no, I did lost a Marine in Overwatch. So back at the end of, well, come back to you at the end of Chaos Movement Phase, turn 1. And we are back at the end of a very short Iron Warriors movement phase. This Rhino here, trying to actually sneak out of the cover, actually immobilised itself. So the Plague Marines have gotten out and they're heading over this way. Not quite sure what they're going to do just yet, but David's back to his psychic phase and we'll combine it with shooting and then come back to you. And we are back at the end of Chaos, Psychic and Shooting. Psychic, the only thing really of note was these guys got a weapon virus put on them, so now their weapons get hot. Oh, the scout bikes that were over here, two casualties from the Plague Marines. One of them, ironically, one of the Plague Marines actually cooked himself with his own plasma gun, surprise, surprise.
Not just that.
Oh, hang on, just bear with me a second, David. So these guys actually blasted morale and are heading towards the table edge. They'll be back, because they rolled 15, so they're about 3 inches short of the table edge, but that could have been a lot worse. And that is including the Leadership 10 buffs in his entire army that the Rites of Battle for his Warlord trait. Oh, didn't go according to well. Oh, also took some damage on this land speed. It's down to 1 whole point, but it is still mobile. That was a bolt of fire from all the guys in the gantry tower. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the shooting. So onwards with the assault, which will just this assault squad continuing to do its deadly work. We'll get back to you shortly. And we're back at the end of Chaos Assault phase, and predictably it was almost a whitewash. There's one dude left in there and he's surrounded by a lot of angry Space Marines. So he probably won't survive my turn, but that does lock my assault squad in place for yet another turn with just a single model tanking it out. So anyway, we'll come on with my turn 2. I do have a reserve to roll for, actually think about it. My Cataphracti Terminators coming down on a 3, and no, they are not coming down. Not yet. Right, so onwards with my movement phase, and we'll see you at the end of that. And we are back at the end of Imperium, well, defensive Helios guys, you know, Red Scorpions in this particular case for the most part. Done my movement. The jinking, slightly damaged Storm, Land Speeder Storm, has come flying down here. These guys have just sort of moved forward a little bit with the Inquisitor in tow. These cowardly bikes have actually rallied this time, so now they're actually sort of steaming back up into the battlefield. Let's see now. These guys just scooted over a little bit. They're stuck in melee. Those scouts over here, they are actually running along the barricade, the fill pipe. So yeah, my Terminators didn't turn up. So now going to the psychic phase, and I'll come back to shooting, and we'll get back to you shortly. We're back at the end of my psychic and shooting phase, turn 2. Psychic phase, nothing happened. It was either dispelled or just failed to go off, so nothing really to report there. However, shooting wise, Plague Marines lost a couple of dudes from down there. These guys, heroes that they are, I mean, this speeder flat outed. These guys, heroes that they were, absolutely lit up the Warpsmith squad, thinned them out quite a lot, and actually put a wound on the Warpsmith, which he couldn't shove a dude in front of him with his mega tendrils. See, other than that, that melee will continue shortly. That's pretty much it, isn't it? So they were just rinsed off of that. Plague Marines took some casualties. No leadership because they're all bloody fearless. So now it's on for the assault phase. And do I charge those bikes in? Do I?
They're strength and toughness.
Yeah, because of your curse thing. So I'll wait for your turn to see if I can screw you up with that. But for the minute at least, yeah, going to do the assault phase, wipe that squad out, and then get the consolidation done, and then get on with David's turn 2. And Chaos turn 2 movement. The Blight drone has flown on. It looks like it's going to try and cook some of my poor scouts. The Chaos bikes have moved up, so it looks like there's a small war going on over here. The Plague Marines have actually moved forward. Looks like they want to mix it up with my assault squad. No bad thing there. And yeah, so, and obviously the Blitz didn't come in. So we're down to a few Marines there trying to like mix it up in the centre. So we'll come back at the end of the psychic and shooting phase and see how we get on. So back at the end of Iron Warriors shooting turn 2, and yeah, Scout Bikers all basically dissolved by the phlegmy excretions of said Blight drone. So they're all dead. Lots of fire came down on these two squads. Again, they just walked through it like they didn't care. Biggest real upset was after a fusillade of firepower, the assault squad losing 3 models, legged it. They actually busted morale and ran they got an 11 on their leadership check, and they ran 8 inches. So while they can, the Plague Marines still can technically charge them. It will be a long bomb charge, so I don't know whether or not Dave, are you going to bother?
I really should try, because like I said, I want to try and protect that unit for a turn.
Oh, okay, well, I'll tell you what, they are. Hang on a second. They are...
Closest model is 8 inches away, so I'm going to need a 10.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
No
we'll roll it anyway, If they fail, then obviously it's onto my turn. And yeah, they flunked. Okay, so onwards with Imperium turn 3. And oh, I'll tell you what I will do. I will roll for my reserves. Come on, you stupid Terminators.
Yeah.
They're better. Alright, okay. So do my movement phase, and then we'll get right back to you. And movement phase. Right, these guys on the pile stayed still. These Centurion devs have just moved over a little bit to get some better coverage on the bikes, or maybe the Blight drone. Haven't really decided what I'm going to do with them just yet. Let's see now. Over here, these Centurion devs moved up a little bit. The assault squad, the Flamers at the 4, getting up in their Plague Marines' faces. This Land Speeder Storm just scooched over a little bit, only moved 6 inches, so guys haven't quite got out yet. Probably going to leave them in there for a little bit longer. Those scouts over there hopped over the Promethean relay pipe, and they're heading in to support their brothers. So we're going to do psychic phase and shooting, and get back to you at the end of my psychic and shoot phase turn 3. We're back at the end of my shooting phase turn 3. Chaos Sorcerer and Warlord is no more. He was hosed eventually after the Flamers, bolt pistols, Cerberus launcher, multi-melter, and eventually it was the Grav that fired in and wrecked his face, along with quite a few of the other dudes as well. And a humongous amount of lookout serves were made there. But they're still open to the assault from those assault marines because they did fire at them. The Blight drone couldn't really do an awful lot. Fired off the combi grav, fired off a missile, snapshots, didn't hit it. Split fired with this squad down here. The sergeant tried to hit it with his crack missiles, missed. These 2 heavy bolter guys and the Inquisitor actually just contributed fire into those bikes. So now we are on to my assault phase, and let's see if I can make the charge. Bear in mind I get a reroll because they didn't use their jump packs, they just walked there. Okay, so we'll make the rolls and see what happens. And at the end of Red Scorpion assault phase, and predictably lost 2, but it wasn't enough to save them. At the end, it was the not the Eviscerator that stepped in and did the work, it was the Veteran Sergeant and the jump pack Captain. So yeah, not bad going for turn 3, but now we're on to Chaos turn 3, and hopefully the Obliterators will turn up. Do you want to roll for that, David?
Yep, they're here.
They're in finally, right. So we'll roll that up, do any other movements, and we'll catch up with you shortly. We're back at the end of the movement phase, Chaos turn 3. The Blight Drone went to hover mode and skipped back behind that. The 3 bikes have come in, looks like they're going up on my assault squad. Obliterators have landed there, not quite sure what they're going to do just yet, but we'll see what happens. Other than that, I think the Iron Warriors have pretty much just abandoned this side of the table. They're starting to run thin on bodies, and they have to hold this thing for a minimum of 5 turns, possibly longer. So, going on to the shooting phase, since there's no psychic phase left after those Plague Marines and the Sorcerers just got rinsed with grab fire. So, back at the end of the shooting phase, Chaos turn 3. We are back at the end of Iron Warriors turn 3. One of the Centurions down here was actually killed by, he just got rinsed with assault cannon rounds from those Obliterators. The bikes that went in there, the aspiring champion issued the usual challenge. After, I mean, it got phlegmed. Well, the phlegm from the Blight Drone missed. Assault phase, they went in, challenged the captain, stepped forward and took that one, and took the Chaos aspiring champion clean out. Then between the Eviscerator and the Thunderhammer, they wrecked face with the other dudes and then consolidated up there. So we're coming into Imperium turn 4. And we think the Iron Warriors are going to have serious trouble getting this night now. So we're going to do my movement phase, and then we'll come back to you at the end of that. And end of my psychic phase and shooting. Blight Drone survived everything I could throw at it. There's one wound on one of the Obliterators from a psychic streak from the Inquisitor, but the rest of it, not an awful lot happened. I mean, I unloaded everything I could. Even these guys up there, basically some pistol shots in before the close combat happens. Will make or break at the moment. So, yeah, shooting phase somewhat lackluster. So let's see if these guys can continue to wreck face in the assault phase. And we're going to get that resolved and get right back to you. We are back at the end of my assault phase, and despite the Eviscerated dude went down pretty early on, he's pulled apart by the Nurgle Marines. The Warpsmith stepped in and took the Sergeant out, but was thunderhammered in the face in return and went down. Then the Captain stepped in and dispatched the last 2, and there's just one dude who's about to be thrown, probably bodily, or smacked bodily off of that balcony with a power axe in the face. So we're on to what's left of Iron Warriors, or Death Guard, whatever you want to call them these days, Plague Marines, such and such. Turn 4, and see if they've got anything left, but it looks pretty bad for them. We're back at the end of their turn 4. Okay, and we are back at the end of Iron Warriors turn 5. Obliterators hosed in and blew that poor little, I mean, it penetrated, very nearly blew it up, but in the end it's just wrecked, so it's just crashed. There, all the scouts were spilled out. Failed the charge, long bomb, and obviously the captain basically slapped the shit out of that last Chaos Marine on his onesies. So we're now on to turn 5, my turn 5. So the Terminators finally, they keep, every time they deep strike they've mishapped, but they've just got to keep going on to ongoing reserve. So turn 5, doubt they're going to do much, but I will drop them in anyway and see how we get on. And then I'll just do the entire turn because it'll actually be easier, because it's just going to be a glorious rape train of doom. So we shall see how it goes and get back to the end of my turn. And here we are, and it's pretty much all over. The Obliterators were melted by grab fire from the Centurion devs. Lucky glance caused the Blight Drone to basically lock velocity, so it's going to have to fly off probably. That Rhino under there is immobilised, it can't get towards the objective, and that Captain is basically ruining it, chopping up slowly with his power axe. It's toast. So awkward left-handed handshake there, David, because again, great fun game. You've been a great sport because I keep murdering you all over the place. Yeah. Right, so yeah, that's how the world ends. So the Iron Warriors have been repelled. They haven't got access to their shiny Chaos Knight, and I'm not sure what the Mechanicum will do with that. Either bury it back up if they can't destroy it, or just melt it to death with lots of melter weaponry. One way or another, this is the way the world ends. Hope you enjoyed the battle report, and we'll be back again with the next instalment and see if the Iron Warriors actually can actually do some damage and really put the boot in. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that, people, and I'll catch you again soon enough.